Ethan Rodriguez is 16 years old. He's been going blind since he was born. He can't see faces clearly, can't read without magnification, can't drive, can't play sports. In 2 years, he'll be completely blind. It's genetic, a single broken gene, and for his entire life there was no treatment. Until now. Doctors are going to inject working copies of that gene directly into his retinas. One shot. $850,000. His last chance to ever see clearly. The Last Hope. Episode 3, The Gene Fix. Ethan was born with Leber congenital amaurosis, LCA. It is a genetic disease. One of his genes doesn't work, so the cells in his retina that convert light into vision, they die. When he was a baby, his mother Maria noticed he didn't track her face. At 6 months old, they were told he had severe vision impairment. By age 10, Ethan was legally blind. By 14, he could barely see shapes. Now at 16, he's running out of time. Dr. Gene Bennett, a researcher at the University of Pennsylvania, explains that LCA is caused by mutations in several different genes. Ethan has a mutation in the RPE65 gene. This gene makes a protein that's essential for vision. It recycles vitamin A in the retina. Here's how vision works. Light hits your retina. Cells called photoreceptors convert that light into electrical signals your brain can interpret. But those photoreceptors need vitamin A to function. The RPE65 protein recycles vitamin A, so photoreceptors can keep working. Without RPE65, the photoreceptors starve. They die, and once they are gone, you can't get them back. Dr. Thomas Alleman at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia proposes a revolutionary gene therapy called Luxturna. Doctors inject billions of copies of the working RPE65 gene directly into the retina. They use a virus as a molecular delivery truck. The virus carries the good gene into your retinal cells. Once inside, the working gene starts producing the RPE65 protein. It is eye surgery. There's risk of infection or retinal detachment, but without it, Ethan will lose his remaining photoreceptors forever. Ethan knew the window was closing. He told his doctor, "I want to try." His future depended on it. Before surgery, doctors measured his baseline. Ethan couldn't read the top line of the eye chart. Everything was just a blur. In low light, Ethan was functionally blind. He couldn't recognize his own mother across a room. Maria stood 10 feet away, and he couldn't see her face. Surgery day arrived. Ethan's first wish, if it worked? "I want to see your face, Mom. I've never really seen it." The surgery took 90 minutes. Doctors injected 150 billion viral particles directly into his right eye. In that syringe was his last hope. 150 billion particles, each carrying the blueprint for his sight. Then came the wait. The gene needs time to enter the cells and start producing protein. It would be months before they knew. 12 weeks later, Ethan returned to the clinic. He felt like things were brighter, but he wasn't sure if it was real. "I can see them," he said, his voice trembling. "I can actually see the letters." He was reading lines he hadn't seen in years. In the mobility test, he was a different person. He completed the entire course without hitting a single object. "I could see everyone," he whispered. Then, the moment that mattered most. Maria stood 15 feet away. Ethan stared, tears streaming down his face. "Mom, I can see you." For the first time in his life, he saw her eyes, her smile, her face. Gene therapy had given him his mother back. 6 months after treatment, Ethan returned to school. No more magnifying devices. He could see the board from the back of the room. He's playing sports, learning to drive. He passed his vision test perfectly. Ethan Rodriguez was living the life of a normal teenager. With the first eye a success, doctors treated the second. Ethan went from legally blind to 20/60 vision, good enough to drive. "I've never been able to see these," he said, looking at childhood photos. "Look at my mom. She was so young. I never knew." He spent 16 years going blind, expecting complete darkness. Instead, gene therapy gave him a future where he can see the world. Gene therapy is no longer science fiction. It is saving sight and expanding to cure many inherited diseases. This is the last hope. 18 months later, Ethan Rodriguez remains a success story. From legally blind to a licensed driver, Luxturna was the first FDA-approved gene therapy for an inherited disease. Visit unbedsidemanners.com for more stories.